She had done this 15 times before, and 15 times before it had worked. Walk into a small business, manufacture a complaint, threaten a one-star review and a discrimination story if she wasn't compensated. Most owners paid up just to make her disappear. She had never once been caught. She had no idea that this time her own phone would be the thing that ended it all. What happened in that courtroom went on to become one of the most shared clips in Judge Judy history, passed around online because nobody expected a woman's own Instagram post to be the exact thing that destroyed her case in front of millions of viewers. Before we get into it, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love seeing where my viewers are joining in from around the world. And hit that subscribe button, because what unfolds in the next few minutes is one of the most satisfying evidence reveals you'll see this year. This is the kind of justice that restores your faith in the system. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. Priya Kaur was 34 years old, a single mother who had spent 6 years building her small hair salon from nothing, working double shifts, saving every spare dollar, finally opening her own storefront 18 months ago. She had 2 employees, a small but loyal client base, and a 5-star rating she'd earned 1 appointment at a time. Danielle Voss walked into that salon 3 weeks ago and, according to her lawsuit, left humiliated, discriminated against, and owed $6,000 in damages. "Miss Voss, tell me what happened," Judge Judy said, her tone even, giving nothing away. Danielle answered with the practiced calm of someone who had told this story many times before. "Your Honor, I booked a balayage appointment 2 weeks in advance. When I arrived, the stylist, Miss Kaur herself, took one look at me and said my hair was too damaged to safely do the service and refused to even attempt it. I offered to sign a waiver. She refused. Then, when I asked to speak to someone else, she said there was no one else and that I should find a salon better suited to my hair type. I felt singled out, judged, and frankly humiliated in front of other customers." She said it well, measured, reasonable, sympathetic even. A few people in the gallery nodded slightly, and Priya, sitting quietly at the defendant's table with a folder in her lap, looked like exactly what she was, a small business owner who had no idea how to fight back against a well-rehearsed story. "Miss Voss, your response," Judge Judy asked. Priya's voice was steady but tired. "Your Honor, everything I said to her was true. Her hair had been over-processed with box dye and bleach at home. I could see visible breakage. Doing a balayage on hair in that condition risks it snapping off at the root. I offered a deep conditioning treatment instead and told her to come back in 6 weeks. I never refused her because of anything about who she is. I refused because of the condition of her hair, and I have photos I took that day, with her consent, to document the condition before she left." Danielle scoffed lightly. "Photos don't show what someone says to you or the tone they use. I know what I experienced." Priya opened her folder and produced several photographs, close-ups of clearly damaged, brittle-looking hair. "These were taken with her consent, Your Honor, standard practice before any chemical service, so there's no dispute later about pre-existing damage." Danielle waved a hand dismissively. "Anyone's hair looks bad in a bad photo. That doesn't prove discrimination didn't happen, and frankly, I don't think this court fully understands what it's like to be turned away and humiliated in a room of strangers. You can't prove what was in her head when she looked at me." Before we see exactly what Judge Judy already had in that folder on her bench, hit subscribe if you haven't yet, because right now, it still sounds like it could genuinely go either way, and what happens next changes everything. Judge Judy folded her hands. "Miss Voss, this isn't the first time you filed a claim like this against a small business, is it?" Danielle hesitated just slightly. "I've had other bad experiences with businesses, yes. That doesn't make this one less real." "How many exactly?" "I don't keep counts, Your Honor. I don't think that's relevant." It's very relevant, Judge Judy said, opening a folder of her own, because according to small claims filings across this county over the past 3 years, this is your 15th lawsuit against a small business: nail salons, restaurants, a dry cleaner, a pet groomer. 11 of those cases settled before trial. Would you like to explain that pattern? The gallery stirred. Danielle's composure, so smooth minutes ago, flickered for the first time. Small businesses make mistakes, Your Honor. That's not a crime for me to point them out, and I don't see how any of that changes what happened to me here. Let's talk about what happened here then, specifically about what you posted online the night after your appointment. Danielle's face lost color instantly. That was a private account. It was a public account, Miss Voss, with over 4,000 followers at the time you posted this. Judge Judy held up a printed page, posted at 8:42 p.m. the night of your appointment. New target found, lol. Little salon owner tried to refuse service. Perfect setup for a claim. She'll probably just pay to make it go away like the others. Free balayage one way or another. The courtroom went completely silent, then erupted in murmurs. Priya's hands resting on her folder began to tremble, not from fear this time, but from something closer to disbelief that this moment had actually arrived. That was a joke between friends, stammered Danielle. People exaggerate online. It doesn't mean anything. You called her a target, Miss Voss, before you'd even filed the claim. That's not an exaggeration. That's a plan. Danielle's voice rose, panic creeping in. Fine, maybe I've done this before, but this time is real. She really did discriminate against me. I know how she looked at me. Let's discuss your witness then, Judge Judy said. You listed a Miss Renata Cole as someone who witnessed the exchange and can confirm the salon's discriminatory tone. I reached out to Miss Cole directly. Danielle went rigid. She'll confirm everything. She did initially agree to testify until I informed her that providing false testimony in a court proceeding is a criminal offense, at which point she voluntarily came forward with text messages. Shall I read them? Danielle's mouth opened, but nothing came out. Judge Judy read from a printed page. Just say you heard the stylist say something rude about her hair being ghetto or ratchet. Doesn't matter exactly what, just make it sound bad. I'll give you $100 after we win. The gallery gasped audibly. Someone in the back muttered, "Unbelievable," loud enough to be heard. Danielle's friend, sitting beside her, quietly slid her purse onto her shoulder and edged toward the aisle, clearly no longer interested in being associated with what was unfolding. Danielle's eyes welled up, and for a moment it looked like a genuine break. Your Honor, please, I know this looks terrible, but you have to understand, I've been struggling financially since my divorce. I'm not a bad person. I found something that worked, and I got carried away. I never meant it to become this. There was a pause. A few people in the gallery softened slightly, uncertain now whether sympathy was warranted after all. I don't doubt financial hardship is real for you, Miss Voss, but financial hardship explains desperation. It doesn't excuse fabricating discrimination claims against 15 different small business owners who worked as hard, if not harder, than you have. Miss Carr is a single mother who built her business one client at a time. You didn't find a shortcut through hard times. You built a scheme. Danielle said nothing more. This case is dismissed with prejudice. Miss Voss, you will pay Miss Carr $2,500 in legal fees and lost business from the negative review campaign, plus $2,500 in punitive damages for witness tampering and fabricated claims, $5,000 total, payable immediately. I am also forwarding this entire file, including your text messages with Miss Cole and your online posting history across all 15 prior claims, to the district attorney's office. The gavel struck. The gallery broke into applause. The bailiff called for order, though he didn't seem to try very hard. Priya sat still for a moment, as if she hadn't fully processed that it was over, then quietly wiped her eyes. "Miss Carr," Judge Judy said, her tone softening, "you documented everything correctly. You stayed calm under a serious accusation, and because of that, 14 other small business owners may finally get some accountability too. That matters." "Thank you, Your Honor," Priya said softly. "I just wanted people to know I didn't do anything wrong." Within a month, 5 of Danielle's previous victims came forward once the story spread, joining a small claims effort to recover settlements they'd paid under pressure. Priya's salon saw a wave of new bookings after local news picked up the story, enough that she was able to hire a 3rd stylist by the end of the year. Court is adjourned. Do you think Judge Judy's verdict was fair, or should serial fraudulent claimants like this face harsher criminal penalties from the start? Let me know in the comments what you think, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button because next week, another case is going to shock you even more.